Hey everyone, this is Invader1 here, and this is another instructional video on how to take on Platinum difficulty in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. This is for Firebase Giant, which is the Tuchanka homeworld, and I wanted to see if a camp out strategy uh, with a few other strategies involved would work on this map. And one of the things I want to apologize beforehand is that I already had two other gameplay videos that have me using the destroyer, the new soldier, and I wanted to use another character. I wanted to use the demolisher here to kind of show you guys how I play with him, but my buddy just, he really wanted to use the demolisher. So we have two demolishers. One that is actually going to be right next to me, and another demolisher by the other sniper at the far left side of this map. So here in this map, this is a typical camp out strategy for Tuchanka Firebase Giant, and usually what you want to do is you want to have two people camped out in this area where I am right now, just one person here, and you at this moment I have the my buddy who is the demolisher on my right side, and he's just got his pylon right next to me so that he could provide it could provide me with more bullets and grenades, and we're covering each other at this point in time and sniping everything that comes to us. And my other buddy, on the as you can see on the gameplay, he is on the far left portion of the control room, where the other entrance on the other side. If you see the gameplay, you'll see him on my left side of the screen. It's where you are going up the ramp to go up to the control room. So by doing this, by having two people on this side and having two on the other, you're forcing the spawn points to pretty much spawn on the other side of the map, and you're controlling what is coming to you. Normally on gold, this is actually a little boring because it makes gold very easy. But at the same time, on platinum, it is actually very exciting because you can't just camp out here. The main strategy here, what you want to do is obviously snipe and destroy everything that you can that comes to you. You definitely want to have some long range weapon. You want to have a sniper, and you want to have some other weapon that can really punch through the heavy enemies, atlases and phantoms and banshees and all. And at this point in time, I'm using Valiant, and I spec my soldier, my destroyer. I changed the spec. I'm not using the missile here like I was using on the other video. I actually changed him so that he is a tank. He's got nothing but fitness, and his power, his capability is adding. I believe it's plus 40% shield on him, and at the same time, his fitness is fully upgraded, and I have nothing but damage on his grenade. So as you will see in the gameplay video, when I rock his grenade out, I mean, it's just he's truly destroying things. But anyways, the point is that you want to have either two snipers, and it could be a Solarian sniper, it could be a Quarian infiltrator, on the left part of the control room, handling that part, and just sniping everything, and just taking everything out. And on this side where I'm at, by the ladder, you want to have two people just, ensuring that nothing gets by, nothing gets through. And these are the first waves of platinum, so it's actually a little easier, but you still have, these boss enemies like the phantoms coming at you left and right, and some random centurions and guardians that are coming at you. And by the way, this is against the Cerberus faction, but again, I put Cerberus on mostly because it seems like other people are having a hard time with Cerberus. Most people seem to put it on Reapers first. I love playing against the Reapers in general, but I don't know. When I play Reapers, I seem to get a lot more gaff. But anyways, I figured this would be a good kind of strategy for people to beat platinum difficulty against Cerberus on Firebase Giant. And again, the good thing about this is that, anytime that somebody's going to get downed, you definitely want to make sure that you're calling it out. You don't really want to use your medigels immediately. That's why we have two on one side and two on the other. On gold, you could actually just have one person here. One person can actually handle that spot because it gets a little boring there. But on platinum, you definitely want to have both people there. If you notice here, we got an escort objective. It's actually going really well. We got lucky that the escort went backwards, but you see, by us forcing the spawns to be on the other side, this objective went right to the area that we were defending. So we actually had a clear path, and it actually went well. So wave 3 went really well for us. And by the way, I'm sorry, I sped up the gameplay video just a little bit, very slightly, just to make sure that the video doesn't last as long. I just sped it up about 0.5%. But in the sense of in the sense of handling the escort objective, we do get another escort objective where we do have to go across the map, and you will see that very soon. And that's the kind of situation that you want to have your missiles. And pretty much my advice when it comes to missiles is to not use them until you get the objectives, or you are totally overrun and your team has no choice but to use a missile. And when you do use the missile, you want to use it intelligently. You want to get like 2 banshees together. You want to get a whole mob of boss enemies, like atlases, 2 atlases, or an atlas and a banshee, or that kind of thing. That's the way you want to play it intelligently. There have been times where I am playing this map and I've had 1 banshee on one side of the map and 1 banshee on the other, and I'll literally kite one all the way to the second one so that they're standing right next to each other, and then I'll say, okay, now shoot your missile. And we'll literally just work it. We'll do our best to survive and run around to make sure that that missile is worth it. In platinum difficulty, you definitely want to do that. And as you can see, this is going quite well for us. My buddy here is using the Demolisher. He's got the pilon right over me. The pilon is giving, healing my shields. And now you don't have to use the Demolisher. You can use the Geth Engineer for that. You can put, the Geth turret behind you to make sure that it's healing you. When there are moments if you're using the Geth Engineer, you're using the turret, that if you have it set for some kind of damage, then at that moment in time you can change the turret to be on top of the boss enemy. That's fine, but mostly you want the turret behind your buddies, healing them, because when you get a banshee who's throwing warp balls at you, it's going to continue eating at them, and you want to make sure that you're everybody's healing well. If you notice here, the main strategy, the most important strategy, and I've talked about this on the other videos, and it stays true here. What we do is we are in our designated areas and we try to do our best to kill all the little mobs, all the little enemies, all the engineers who are dropping turrets and everything. We're making sure we continue killing them. The moment we know that the banshee is in the room, what you want to do is let her get into the room. Why? Because you can't get sniped now. All the little enemies are still outside. They're not inside yet. There may be moments that they will get inside, but we're all here. If one of them gets inside, we'll all call it, and we'll all focus our fire on that enemy. So if you notice, we all right away we go back to our spots. We're going to go back and forth, and you see this throughout the map. You'll see this throughout the match, that we'll go back and forth, but the moment that the banshee is close, we're calling it out. We're saying, oh, she's coming on my side, she's on the right side, and then we have different call signs. Like we'll call out, say, okay, she's close, and then when she's in the room, she's in the room. At the moment that our teammates say she's in the room, like he just said it now, you can't hear it, but he just says she's in the room. We right away immediately ran away. We didn't care to kill any enemy, even if the enemy was halfway dead. We just right away, Banshee's in the room, we came right to it, and we all focus fire. Like that, we're ensuring that we're not wasting missiles trying to defeat a Banshee who is just going crazy on us. So this way, all of us focus fire, we make sure that we take out that Banshee, and she is done. And as you can see, this is going quite well. I tested the strategy out with a few other builds, but for whatever reason, we were just not successful It was only because of the team makeup. You know, I try to train some people in platinum. Some people are very new to platinum, very new to gold in general also. So it's just the match. The matches didn't go quite well. I was able to beat this map before with other characters, but I was not recording at the time. But this one I was able to record, and you know, I said, well, let me get another video in. So, anyways, here you can see that, you know, we're taking our time to defeat everything that we can. We're taking out turrets, we're taking out engineers right away. We're making sure we're keeping everything clean, so that if when the objective wave comes, you know, we don't have turrets just chewing us up. And let me say something about the Demolisher, which is the new engineer. The new engineer has the homing grenades, and you know, sometimes I spec'd out my engineer to have both the homing grenade and also the arc grenades. The grenades that the Korean male usually has. And those are great grenades because you could use them for, you know, to take off barriers. Like right now, the other engineer on that side, what he's been doing is been throwing. If you can see it on the gameplay, he's throwing arc grenades to make sure that, you know, he's taking down her barriers as quickly as possible. And then so like that, then we can go right ahead and just work on her armor. And also you can see here, look, we got you see the banshees come in, and he's working on her barriers so that her armor becomes a little easier to take down. And what, some of the ammo, a little tip on the ammo that you can use in your weapons. When it comes to, you know, I would say focus the kind of ammo you want to use based on the enemy faction that you're fighting. Like for example, I know that if I'm putting on Cerberus, the Cerberus faction, the toughest enemy that I'm going to have coming at me is the Banshee, and you know that goes pretty much for every faction. But still, if I know, like for example, I'm going to put the Geth faction, I'm going to go with Disruptor rounds regardless of the fact that there's a Banshee coming at me, because I'm going to have heavy hitting weapons that, you know, like the Saber, you know, or the Typhoon, or the Claymore, that, or the Wraith, you know, just it's really powerful weapons that are going at her. So regardless of the ammo type that I get, you know, yes, it helps, absolutely, but you know, I'm gonna make sure that if I'm fighting Geth, I'm using Disruptor rounds, because like that I can take down shields. It shocks the crap out of the Geth, and it also reveals them, you know, and it really makes it easier to fight the Geth. But in this situation, what I did is I had incendiary rounds 4 on, and I love it because it continues eating at the enemy. You know, there's times that I'll shoot an enemy and he's not dead yet, and while I'm reloading he just drops. So incendiary rounds are great. I definitely recommend them for, you know, factions like enemies like Reapers. Armor piercing rounds are excellent. They're really great because once you take down barriers and shields, they just really eat right through the enemies. This situation, you see that, you know, we had 2 banshees. They kind of came up on us, and some of the, you know, we didn't, since the second banshee came up so quickly, we didn't have time to kind of go back to our designated areas to kind of clean up some of the smaller mobs. But, you know, in this situation, you see, one of my buddies, you know, just shot a missile, I believe, and cleaned out the last little bit, and we were okay. You know, but at this moment, if you look at my screen, I have pretty much every missile available. I have 4 medigels. You know, we're okay. You know, we're actually okay. We did very well on this one. I mean, by wave 10, we still have a ton of missiles between all of us. If you see this escort objective, you see that it's going forward in this time. What we're doing is we're making sure that we're taking cover with the objective, and we're using missiles effectively. When we know we're getting close, then we go right ahead and we'll use a missile to clean out, you know, like right there, my friend used a missile. And you make sure that we had a clear path, and that's what you want to use a missile for. And you don't want to use it like, you know, like so quickly, because what will happen is once you missile these enemies, you know, they'll spawn another faction somewhere else in the map. So you kind of want to be very careful of timing. It has to be very intelligent. You know, this is not gold, and even in gold you have to be very intelligent about the missiles too. But this is not, you know, silver. This is not bronze. If you use a missile, it has to be very intelligent, extremely. I mean, you have to think of your missiles as gold. really. And the same thing with your ops packs, same things with your medigels. Yes, you want a medigel in a situation that your teammates are down, but you do want to do it in such a way that's very wise. And before you medigel, call it out. Say, hey, is there anything around me? Is everybody down? You know, call it out. So like that, you know, you're able to use a medigel wisely, because if you'll medigel and your buddy's right there. I've had situations where I think even in this map, I'm sorry, in this round. No, actually not in this round. But there have been matches where you'll have somebody. Oh, I was right on top of you. Why did you medigel? I was right there, and and again, you definitely want to make sure that you have a buddy system, so like that you're keeping each other, you're keeping each other alive, and ensuring that you're in the action and taking out the enemies that you can. And communication is key. You definitely want to have mics. You want to be communicating. The only time you shouldn't have a mic is somebody's mic broke or something happens. But anyways, as you can see, the strategy is actually working out well. This is a good gold strategy. It gets a little boring on gold because this is one way that you can farm gold. Actually, you could play like Cerberus. You could play not Reapers, but you could do Cerberus or Geth and just kind of farm Tachanka like this, because they just keep on lining up for you, and you could just snipe them, kill them, and it makes Tachanka really easy. This is such a great map to actually, to do speedruns. It's a lot of fun. You're just running around and just, killing enemies. But in this situation, this is the kind of guide. I wanted to create a safe guide for people who want to kind of get into Platinum and get some good credits and still have fun, because this is the one thing I do like about Platinum, is that even if you use a camp out strategy like this, we are still on our toes. I mean, these enemies push in, so we your heart is still racing, you're still pumping, you got to be sharp. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm just gonna camp out here. No, the enemies have a lot of shields, they have a lot of health. They're very overpowered here in this level, because that's exactly what they wanted. We wanted platinum difficulty to be difficult. So you really can't just stay back and do nothing and think that you're going to be okay. You pretty much, even though this is a camp out strategy, we are we are on our toes, and we're making sure that we are taking out as many enemies as possible. And when the banshees come out, the main strategy is allow her to come to the top of the control room. Let her in, pretty much open the door for her. Say, hey, here we go. Come right in. We want you to come in here. Why? Because if she's in the control room, then, these smaller factions cannot snipe us. They cannot shoot us from far. We have more control, and we could just focus on her, open fire entirely on her, while the other factions are trying to make their way to us. Sometimes they will get up there while we're still fighting the Banshee. That will happen, and that's when you want to have grenades, or you want to have, heavy hitting weapons to be able to clean them out. And you can have one guy, like for example, in this situation we'll have 4 guys just attacking the Banshee. But if an enemy faction comes in, an enemy comes in like a Phantom or a Pyro or anything like that, 1 or 2 of us will deviate. We'll call it out again. Communication is key. 2 of us will say, okay, we're gonna work on the, we're working on the Pyro while you're continuing to finish off the Banshee. And we'll do that because by the time one of these little enemies get in, we already have the Banshee at least halfway destroyed. So that is very important. When the Banshee comes along, you want to kind of escort her into the top of the control room, like we've been doing here. And that's usually what we do. We call it out. We say, hey, Banshee, she's coming in. Once she's in, we know to all go up and just lay down as much fire as possible to get her out as quickly as possible, because she is literally the most dangerous enemy in platinum difficulty, with any faction. That's if you choose Cerberus, you choose Geth or Reapers, regardless, the Banshee is going to show up in every single one of them in platinum. So regardless, she is just she's the most vicious enemy, and you want to take care of her as quickly as possible. So as you can see here, we're sniping across the way. We're, taking out a prime. My buddy on my right is making sure that that pylon is ready. I have grenades. We're making sure we're taking care of business. And I'm gonna create a video with some of the. I'm thinking of creating a video with some of the regular vanilla characters that that come with Mass Effect already. For example, the regular human soldier, the human engineer, which I love. I love the engineer class and the soldier class. So even the base, human soldier and the base human engineer, the base human infiltrator. I want to do a match on platinum with all the base characters to see how that would go. We're gonna figure out some builds and say, hey, okay, let's try out. I don't know. Let's try out Vancouver and just use, the regular human soldier, regular human engineer, and figure out a nice, build for that. So that's gonna be kind of like my next, kind of like my next thing to see, how we'll be able to handle platinum with some of the base characters, even the regular base adept, that kind of thing. And even the base human adept is very powerful. I like him a lot. I use him a lot, quite a bit. Just have a lot of fun with him. The human sentinel is really good, very powerful character. If you use him right, he's definitely a gold character, believe it or not. His biotic detonations are so powerful, and his tech armor gives him a boost to his warp and throw. It gives him a boost, a damage boost to those powers, which is such a great thing. So it really makes him a very powerful sentinel. Really, he's a biotic with tech armor, but still, anyways, his tech armor really helps. So you definitely want to have the tech armor spec'd out correctly. Anyways, going back to this. So as you can see, we're not having much difficulty. We have some situations where it gets a little tough, but due to the fact that we're all communicating, we're playing as a tight team. This is working out well. And mind you, my buddy, the one who's right next to me, I had just met him. He is actually not on my buddy list, but he's actually one of the friends of one of the other guys that I'm playing with here. And they pretty much said, hey, do whatever Invader 1 says. Just go next to him, and everything that he says, whatever direction, that's what you're gonna do. And he's a very decent player. He plays very well, and he was actually getting some really good snipes in here with I believe he has his Widow on. He was doing very well. And again, as you can see, look at us. We're all playing very tight. And this situation was really cool. Also, the Banshee decided to come our way, so we actually had a lot of time to kind of weaken her because she came our direction, which was actually really cool. So by the time she was getting into the room already, we had already done so much damage to her. And look, by the way, this build, you notice that she hit me with a warp and she only took 50% of my shields. And I don't have like a shield booster 5, nothing. I put my grenade capacity gear bonus here. What I did is I created a tank. I left the missiles out on this one because the missiles will reduce your shields. But what I did is I added his power, which is I'm forgetting the name of it. I'm really forgetting the name of it right now. But his capability, which is the white button, which actually gives you this kind of point of view, as you can see. It gives you accuracy. It boosts up your shields, and at the same time, I put a lot of fitness on him. I put nothing but fitness on him. So really, this character right now, he is just so powerful, and he has tons of shields. So as you saw, he was able to actually handle that warp shot, and it only took 50% of his shields. It did not even go down to health yet. So he probably could have taken another hit before his health could have, it would have started affecting his health. So here we go. We're working on the Banshee that came in. One of my buddies is down, but again, we're calling it out, so we're not, using medigels and not wasting them because we know we're going to need them for wave 10 and the later waves. We want to make sure that we are, using every bit of our consumables wisely, even our ops packs. Like one of the things that I talk about in my other videos also is that you be careful how you use your ops pack. If you got your buddy next to you, you know, you make sure you're calling it out, and he's helping you out. He knows that you're gonna die, and he's fine. You notice here I shot a missile. I shot a missile because I was able to get a Banshee and Atlas, and I think one other enemy at the same time. That was a really good missile, and we all of us have a ton of missiles still. If you notice, we haven't been using missiles really. We've been just taking out enemies as we go. But one thing I have been running out of is bullets. When I had to come up here, I kind of ran out of bullets on my Typhoon, and I kind of used up all my used all my ammo packs. But anyways, you know, I went to my friend's pylon and was able to, you know, get some more ammo. Here we got the next objective, and we had to recover an object. As you can see, this is where we wanted all the missiles. So all of us have missiles. We have missiles ready, and we make sure that once we recover the first object, we had enough missiles to clear out any banshees that get too close. We don't kill them right away. We make sure that, you know, if they get too close, we go right ahead and do it. You see, at this point in time, if you have the opportunity to, you know, as you can see, I was clearing a path to make sure that my buddy can go right ahead and bring the second object through this area. This is actually a good area to bring the object. Mind you, he probably could have gone around the backside a little bit more. He just kind of decided to come straight through. That is fine, as you know, because he knew me, and we were all tight, and you know, we knew that we could take the you know, we could take the enemies on, and you know, just go right ahead and keep them covered. So as you saw, that was wave 10. You know, we already finished the objective. We were thinking of shooting another missile at the Banshees, but we're just like, no, it's not necessary. Let's, you know, we'll make sure that we extract. So we're gonna keep our missiles, and we're just gonna go back to the control room area and just, you know, kind of use the same strategy. We're going to take out all the little mobs in the way, and all the, you know, the smaller, weaker enemies. We're going to make sure that they're done with, and we're going to kite the Banshee inside the control room, so like that we don't have to worry about other enemies sniping us out, and we have a controlled environment in here. We have cover that we can, you know, we can take cover behind these desks, and at the same time, if one of these smaller enemies get in, you know, we can go right ahead and handle them, because we're all here together. We can all, you know, pick each other up, and you know, we can go right ahead and handle this. Now you see a Banshee got in, you know, this is still wave 10, and look, in this situation she picked me up, but I was dropped. That happens if you do a lot of damage on a Banshee. If you see that one of your buddies gets picked up, everybody should focus fire on that Banshee. Either do biotic explosions, or, you know, do a lot of weapon damage on her attack burst as much as you can, because then if you do enough damage on her, she can drop your buddy. So that's a good thing to note, by the way. Banshees can drop whoever, you know, they have on their grasp, and we've been able to do it successfully. I mean, there's times that, you know, we can't do it. But if that happens, you just have to tell everybody to focus fire, you know, try to do as many biotic detonations or biotic explosions on the Banshee, and she will drop you. And as you saw, that was an example of the Banshee just dropping me, which was great. It was, you know, a great thing. My buddies covered me, and we were fine. Didn't even need to use a missile. Now here, you know, we're here by extraction. We got a lot of time. You know, what we're doing is we're just, you know, kind of trying to stay tight. In this situation, the game kind of glitched. And I want to show you guys this. Look, my buddy is just standing there, you know, he was telling me I can't move, what's going on? Lately the Cerberus have been acting a little crazy, but, you know, I wanted to show you guys that even with this situation happening, you know, you saw that his character just stood still. I mean, you know, he was playing throughout the entire game, and he was telling us, hey, through the Xbox Live chat, I can't move. You know, the screen is blank. You know, what happened here? So, as I kind of mentioned this in the previous video, if this happens and you lost your buddy, then you wanna get tighter with the other two. You just go leave your spot and go reconvene with your other, you know, the other two squad mates, because like that you become a 3-man party, 3-man group, and then you become very powerful as a unit. instead of being, on your own, where your buddies will have to run from one side of the map to the other. Now, they don't have to worry. Everybody's together. Everybody's working as a team. You see in the situation now, it's like about 24 minutes, 24 seconds, sorry. And then, we're making sure that we're cleaning out, what's in front of us. This is why we all want to have missiles. We're taking the back route in this situation because, we know it's a little clean. But you can just go straight through, through the other side of the control room and actually make it. We had a partial extraction here. It would have been a full extraction if our buddy, his game wouldn't have gotten glitched. We just, the servers have been acting really, really crazy lately. But still, this is a camp out strategy. And I created this so that to help out people, to have a safer way of handling platinum and still have a lot of fun. But, to be able to defeat it because, a lot of people are having difficulties and, it's always good to have somebody to kind of help you out and give you some kind of idea of how to work it. Anyways, as you can see, you make a lot of money, a lot of credits here, and we had a lot of fun. We lost our buddy, but we were able to extract. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learned from